right, welcome back to the Collective Clips, where you already know we get it in. But before we get it in, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Ding! Put your notification bell on all, so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content that I am kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support, man. We're going up on this channel. It's all because of you. And for that, I can say I'm very humbled and I'm very appreciative. So are you guys ready for another super? This is a different kind of super. This is why you don't fuck with Super Usos. You don't do it, right? Shout out to all my Usos out there, man. I ain't gonna do it. I got my head caved in by a Uso or a Toko or whatever the fuck he was. He was from an island. In the island. They caved my head in though, right? So I learned my lesson. But in the California prison system, they are the one species of man that nobody wants smoke with. But really, to be totally honest with you, they are so laid back and cool. They don't bully nobody. They don't mess with nobody's program. They just do them, and they're big enough to do whatever the fuck they want on that yard, and no one's going to apply any type of pressure. Believe me, I don't care if you're a southerner, a northerner, you got fucking 10 weapons in your cell, you got a weapon in your asshole, you're hard as hell, you're Wes Watson with a whole bunch of shit crammed up you. I don't care who you are. They could be like, hey, homie, you're going to have to get off, is he? What? For reals? Who? Bro, I got it. That big old Uso there. What'd you say? You know what I mean? Everyone's going to think twice. They make you think twice. To be honest with you, no one in the California system wants to do anything with the Uso. And I'm going to tell you guys a little story. And this is a crazy story. This happened. I was privy to it. It just was what it was, right? So I'm locked up in a lockup unit, right? So I'm out of state. I'm in Oregon. I'm doing time in prison, okay? And I had caught a pegada. You know, I'd caught a stabbing, and they sent me to a place called IMU, the Intensive Management Unit. It's equivalent to the SHU, Segregating Housing Unit. Same type of thing, man. In fact, the layout, when you see the SHU in Pelican Bay, it looks exactly the same. There are these 4 pods. There's a control center in the middle so they can see your movement. You got these little holes in front of your cell doors. That's how it is, man. The only good thing about there is they give you this clear clock radio, right? It's got all the guts removed, but it got just enough so you can listen to music, and you're allowed to get your headphones, or they give you state issue headphones, up out of your property, right? So usually you have the CL20s if you're anybody, right? Everyone does. And they got a long cord. You get the extension on the cord, and you're able to walk around the cell. Now, I tripped out that they would give people cords because you could do some crazy shit with cords, right? But that's just the way it was. And I'm not going to lie, man, that changed the whole game. There was people that actually caught pegadas and did shit. They wanted to go to IMU. They wanted to go to this segregated housing unit just for that clock radio. Believe me, that makes a big difference. When you're in the hole and you have nothing but a little pin, a little rubbery pin or a little pencil and some old brown paper just to write a letter, they give you a clock radio. Shit, you're in that motherfucker like, you can find me in the club, bottle full of bub. You're all out on the streets with that shit. Anyway, so this is how it was. Okay, so I'm there on the tier. And for the most part, we kept it respectful. Now, in California, in the SHU, it's different. It's very quiet. There's a lot of hopelessness there. There was a lot of people there. You just couldn't say too much. You couldn't even speak on the tier, okay? That was against the rules, against the politics. You had a lot of the heavy hitters there. Whereas in the IMU, you have a lot of guys that are putting in work or there for whatever reason. Okay, you're gonna get a lot of J-Cats. You got a lot of people bumping baking soda breath on the door. It's just what it is. They try to keep the weirdos segregated to their own section and let them scream and yell over there. And the righteous, the gang members or the guys who are just doing their time, they keep them in the pods together. But it's not like you're gonna have a segregated pod with just northerners or southerners or white. It's going to be a little bit of everyone. And in this pod that I was in, it was a little bit of everyone, okay? They have 2 tiers, and it's basically an L shape. So you have cells over there. It's an L this way. It's actually a U, to be honest with you. It goes all the way around, and they have a bottom tier, okay? We were situated, my exact pod was situated when you would go out to the yard, which was a concrete wall, just like a concrete yard, just like Pelican Bay. There's draining systems, and you look up, and there's a cage over you. It was right over Death Row. Death Row was housed in the same building as the intensive management unit, okay? So I'm doing time there for a pegada. I got a year solid to do. And what happens is When you first get there, they put you on a level and then you move up levels. Okay, you move up levels throughout the building to ultimately you get kicked out and then you go back to a mainline building or a mainline facility, and that's wherever they're going to send you is where they're going to send you, depending upon how you do your time. Now, they do have school there. They'll pull certain people out if they sign up for it. Not a lot of people do. And I did see a pegada happen. There was a norteño that was there from Turlock. He was a homie. He caught up with the south side and he tried to put a pencil through his face, right? That was the only time I really heard or seen while I was there of something happening. And this was well thought. It was methodical, right? It was planned for months in advance. But anyways, so there's a big Uso downstairs. Very well known, right? And he's cool as fuck. And this right here opened my eyes. One of the situations that opened my eyes to letting me know these people don't have to, and when I'm speaking about the Usos, they don't have to say much. They don't have to get loud. They don't have to bump baking soda breath on the door. They don't have to woof or scream or all you got to do is see them. And the whole vibe changes, right? You just know there's something different about these guys. So trip out on this incident, right? So there was an Africano brother. He was a sangre, a blood, right? And I'm not going to lie. He got to the tier and the whole rhythm of the tier changed. He was a little loud, a little obnoxious, gang related as fuck. Didn't care. Was very disrespectful to whoever was on the tier. If somebody was talking, he'll talk over him. He just didn't give a shit, right? And I ain't got nothing bad to say, and I'm not picking on him because he's black, so don't get it twisted. This is just the way this motherfucker was, right? He was just different, obnoxious, and didn't care, okay? And I've told a couple stories about this guy, especially one with the white guy war that he got into with over the magazines. I don't know if you guys remember that old school story, but brother, it just what the white prevailed. I'll just say that one. But anyways, this black dude, so he gets there, and he's talking over people, right? And the big Uso downstairs, now we know who's downstairs. You can't see anyone that's on the bottom tier. There's no reflections, no mirrors, no none of that to see. You just kind of just judge everyone based off their voice. And one thing I've learned about Usos is you see someone that big and you think automatically they have like this rough sounding voice. But a lot of the Usos are very quiet, very mellow, like the softest voice, about to sound like fucking Stevie Wonder. They'll make you wonder though, right? Sometimes it makes you wonder how you keep from going, yeah? So this motherfucker right here, trip out on this. So the black dude's chilling and these dudes are having a conversation and this guy starts talking over them and they're like, hey man, excuse me man, we're trying to get some shit done. They were fishing, trying to fish some soups or something. He's like, man, I don't give a fuck about none of that, man. Fuck all y'all motherfuckers. I'll fuck you guys up. But when he starts woofing, like, man, ain't none of you motherfuckers could see me. I was out there fucking y'all white boys up. This, and that, right? And it was crazy, right? And all of a sudden you hear on the bottom of the tier, hey, brother, and everyone gets quiet. Because you ain't never heard the Uso really speak. He just in there motherfucking doing push-ups like this. You just feel the walls shaking. And that motherfucker's in there doing something. God damn, are we having an earthquake? That's how it feels, right? So anyways, he's like, hey, brother, hella mellow. Hey, brother, right? Who's that? Right? He's like, hey, brother, man, hey, the white folks is trying to talk, man. Let's be respectful, brother. Now, one thing I will say about Oregon, the Usos, the other car, they do their own thing, but a lot of them are affiliated with brothers on the street. So a lot of them are Bloods or Crips. They fuck with the brothers tough, you know what I mean? A lot of them say the N-word, and that's just how it is. They're Polynesians. They who's gonna tell them no? Tell them not to say the N-word, see what happens. Get snatched up. Get Khabib Nurmagomedov. You know what I mean? You don't want that smoke. So he's like, hey, brother, and the dude was like, man, who the fuck is you? He said, yeah, bro. Look, man, none of that matters, bro. It's just, I fuck with you, man. Let's just keep it respectful on this tier. We don't want motherfuckers acting all stupid. We keep it respectful around here. So this guy gets to bumping major baking soda breath. I swear, Arm & Hammer for reals, right? He's in that motherfucker like, fuck you, you's a sucker, you's a punk. You don't tell me what to do. He was a youngster. He was hyphy, right? Talking all out of the side of his neck. You could tell he ain't never did no real time around some real convicts. Or if he did, he just didn't respect anyone. And the last thing you want to be in prison is disrespectful. Especially to a fucking 450-pound Uso. Oh, he didn't know. So I'm next door neighbors with this guy and I'm laughing, bro. Because I already know what it is. So the Uso's like, look, blood, right? He's a blood too. He's like, look, blood. We gonna keep our business off the tier, man. I'm gonna write a little something down. I'll shoot it up to you, man. We're going to do it like that. Man, fuck you. I don't care about your mail. I don't care about your letters. You can't tell me shit, bro. When I see you now, it's on, bro. Just let me know who you are. And again, the Uso's not telling him who he is. He's just like, okay, all right, blood, all right, cool. So it gets quiet. So the Uso, I guess, writes his little wheelah. It gets up to the tier. He hands it to the cop, like, go take this to that fool. The cop's like, yes, sir, yes, sir. Because even the cops don't want no smoke with this big Uso, right? So a sergeant comes up to the tier here, man, from downstairs, man, shoots him a little toothpaste, a soap, and I remember, that's how the Usos are, man. They give you the fucking shirt off their back. They're so cool, right? Anyways, shoots this dude, this wheeler. This motherfucker rips it, throws it on the tier, talking about, man, I ain't got no words for you, bro. When you see me, see me. And so the Uso goes, all right, bro, look, I'm gonna come out for rec and showers here. And I'm gonna let you see who I am. Because he's like, who the fuck are you, bro? Let me know. Let me see a face so I know who to smash when I get back on the main line, man. Because I'm telling you, on Bloods, on Power, I'm fucking you up, right? Dude's like, okay, that's cool, blood. That's cool, right? Meanwhile, I'm in this motherfucker. I could tell him, like, hey, bro, you gotta need to leave that big motherfucker alone. But I'm not gonna say nothing because this is their thing. They're playing chess right now, right? Well, one's playing checkers. The brother upstairs playing checkers. The Uso, he already kinged him. It's done. You know what I mean? Checkmate. So I ain't gonna lie, right? So this black dude's talking shit. Yeah, bro, the whole time, man, we're like, everyone's tired of it. Like, fuck, bro. Look, dude, this dude will fucking choke you out. You know what I mean? People want to just be like, he's gonna whip your. So anyways, they come to the cell for showers. And they're like, hey, are you ready to go? They say his last name. He has a crazy Islander last name. You ready to go to showers, right? And I could hear the blood dude. He's at the door like, yeah, let me see this motherfucker, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. I'm going to get to see you. I'm smashing you, bro. I got this. You don't understand. Once I see a motherfucker, it's on sight. Woo. The cop's like, he tells the other cop, hey, do me a favor. Go to the tower. We're going to need a couple more pairs of handcuffs. They going to need 3 pairs for this motherfucker, right? Hey, the black dude got quiet. Them over. He was like, did they just say 3 pairs of handcuffs, blood? I was like, woo. Woo, Ric Flair. We about to have the woo off right now, bro. Hey, look. They slapped 3 pairs of handcuffs on this big old Uso and brought him out. This motherfucker Islander's hair. You seen the movie Lionheart? Remember how he had that with the big old pfft? His shit was oof. So sole que efe. Right? This motherfucker came out with his hand. He was sober. He was like 450 all muscle. He looked like a mix between Roman Reigns and The Rock. When The Rock was big and Roman Reigns had a little bit of size. I mean, he was fucking swole. Big ass puffed out hair. Looked like the Booyah tribe. Let me tell you exactly how it went down. So as they bring him out of the cell, he makes sure he takes a step back and he looks up. He's like, what up, blood? Let me tell you what happened. This brother said, shit. I fucks with you. Bro, why don't you tell me what you are? I was just fucking with you, bro. Hell nah. On Bloods, man. What's happening with you, blood? Needless to say, that guy was not Super Blood. We'll tell a story about Super Blood later, right? But this is Super Uso's story. So it was a perfect example of seeing someone shit his pants without smelling it, right? It was bad. So let me explain one more situation, right? So I'm in the California system. And the others are hella cool. There was this Asian from Merced that I knew he was from MOD, right? I fucked with him tough. I remember when he was going through his murder case, like this motherfucker, he had killed his wife, right? He was not even a gang member. He was MOD by affiliation, like his brothers were from there, so he kicked it with them. But he wasn't really like out there gangbanging. Like he was like a teacher and like doing good. And his wife did something. I think he killed her and the lover or whatever, right? But I remember when it was a big case and he was going through it, I was in the county at the same time. And so I knew him. So he was cool. His brother was actually a good friend of mine. So we're on the main line right there. And again, the others function on the same side of the Northerners. We're in Corcoran, right? And dude's hella cool. Well, the Asians and the Usos function together. That's what makes it the other car, right? And there's a big old fucking Uso, man. It's probably the biggest one I ever seen besides the homeboy Big J that I ran into on the street. And Lion was big too. But this motherfucker right here, bro, at least 500 pounds. A fat 500 too. Just but big, solid. Like if you hit him in the stomach, you'll feel it in your hand, but he won't feel it in his stomach. One of them guys, right? And so he's kicking back. And what happened was the Asian dude, he gets in debt. He starts fucking with pills and shit. And you don't really see the other car really trip on each other like that. Like they don't do that, man. They're very respectful, but they're with the business. Like I've seen them get off with blacks. I've seen them get off with Northerners. I've seen them get off with Southerners. Like they'll get off. But they really, for the most part, they're able to talk to whoever they want, do whatever they want on the yards. It's cool. And this big Uso, he's like guaranteed running the car. Like it's all him. And the Asian dude tells me, he's like, hey, bro, like, he's like, hey, look, I got some money coming in. And remember, he killed his wife. And I'm not dumb. I'm the last one that's dumb in the world, right? At least I think. And so he's like, hey, bro, can I borrow let me borrow like 100, bro, until, I got to pay this big motherfucker back, bro. He's like, I got you, cut. I got you, right? And I'm like, I don't know, bro. He's like, my wife, she's going to catch me out. Ding, my antennas did the huelga bird. I already knew right there, motherfucker, you killed your wife. Where were your antennas when your wife was over there giving a mamon to the doctor dude? Nah, you killed her, bro. You ain't got no wife. That means you ain't got no 100. That means I'm going to get burnt for the 100. That means my people and me, I'm going to have to stab you. Nah, bro, I'm going to let you face the music with the big Uso, right? So the Uso, I see the Uso over there. I'm like, hey, bro, I got it. I had it at the time, but I didn't have it. Not for him, at least. Right? Plus, I can't get involved in their business. Like, even though he was a personal friend, I knew him from the county and all that. Still, my people's, there's two different things. Like, it's different if, hey, bro, you know what I mean? You got a swap? I got you, bro. You know what I mean? Hey, you got some state shoes? I got you, bro. You got $100 for some heroin? I ain't got you, bro. What the fuck? Right? So anyways, he goes over to this big Uso. And this Uso's talking to him, whatever. So I'm a nosy motherfucker. So later on, I see him. I was like, what's up? You good? He was like, yeah, he's giving me the pass, bro. He said he could wait till the money comes in from my lady. I said, bro, be honest, bro. You got some money coming in? He's like, yeah, I got it. He was lying like a motherfucker, right? So let me tell you what Big Oos did to him. True story. So, and I got reminded of the story because I just watched the UFC fights where the dude broke the fucking dude's jaw with his hand. Okay, well, he ain't the only one. And it didn't even take too much pressure. He just leaned on him. So here comes Cantina, right? Commissary comes, it's the draw, bam, everyone's doing their thing. Dude's like, hey, bro, can I borrow a case of soup? So I'm like, bro, I thought you had your money. He was like, I didn't hit, bro. She didn't get her check. And he's just bullshitting, right? And he's at the point of not normal Asian. Like, he's tweaker Asian. Have you ever seen tweaker Asian? We'll do super tweaker Asian, right? They're different. You know what I mean? Come on, cuz, fuck with me. Come on. Right? Nah, hell nah. So anyways, I see the Uso. This Uso don't get up for no one. He sits at the same table, at the same time, the same area. You got a couple brothers that fuck with him real tough, man. They're always right there chopping it up with him. And he don't move for much, right? He doesn't have to. You know what I mean? Who's going to tell him to? Nobody wants smoke. And he tells the Asian, right? That's how he does it. That motherfucker goes over there, bro. He puts his arm around him and he's talking to him. And I'm like, he's just going to give him the lecture again. That's how Usos are. They're so cool and smooth, right? And then I see a vein right here pop out. Have you ever seen a vein pop out on the Samoan? Uh-huh. Yeah, different, huh? That motherfucker popped out and went, and this motherfucker's arm went like this. That Asian's fucking head sunk in, bro. His shit was, wah! He was like, remember when fucking Bruce Lee goes, wah! That's how that motherfucker did, but he didn't get to move. He was like, wah! That motherfucker was just squeezing, bro. He was just telling him, wah! And that was it. It was at that point in time when I seen, literally, as God is my witness, this motherfucker's eye start to fucking look like Dubs' dog's eye. Pop out of his fucking head. His shit was all bulged out. I was like, damn. I was telling the homeboy from Stock, don't trip out on that fucking Vato's eye. He said, hey, what happened, bro? That Vato's eye was all fucking popped out. That fool went in. I need to go to medical. You can't do that, bro. Go to your cell and tell your cellier, put that motherfucker back. So there's been incidences where I've seen Usos. Like I said, I met the Usos on the streets. I got Super Uso. That was the homeboy Lion. And they're with the business, right? He was a fucking nut. I got one more story. The homeboy ran into him from Stockton. I'll tell you. But anyway, so this dude fucking, nobody in California wants to fuck with the Usos. Nobody wants that smoke. That is the one species of man, like I said, everyone's like, I'm good, bro. Let them do them. They're going to do them regardless, you know? But, at the end of the day, every man can get got. I've told you stories, man. I've seen the one big Uso get smacked. He was in there trying to do bad things to people. His own people did him dirty. They put a whole thing through him. Remember, I told that story. That was in Washington. It was crazy in the chow hall. But I'm just saying, I've seen different shit happen to different people. But very rarely do you see the Usos get anyone talking shit to them. Like, it just doesn't happen, man. And even, all right, look, you remember when they said Big U knocked out 32 Southsiders in Pelican Bay? And Big U wasn't even there in that riot. And everyone, that was just a myth and a rumor. Not saying that No, I'm saying it can't happen, especially Southsiders with knives. No, ain't no one doing that, right? You can knock people out, but if 4 motherfuckers are on you with knives, that ain't happening, right? Unless you're an Uso, right? I seen an Uso one time. The others try to jump them. They were deep too. The others, you never get more than like 20. They were like 30 or 40 deep, man. I don't know. Everybody was claiming other back then, right? And they tried to jump this Uso, and he wasn't even that big. He was stocky as fuck, like the one on the thumbnail. Just chunky, just all meat, right? But he wasn't like crazy big. Booyah tried big, right? He was more like, you know what I mean, EPA big. Like, what up, bro? Like Toko big. Like, you know, the Tokos ain't as big as the Usos, but Tokos are chunky. Man, do you understand that every other on there, and there was some big Usos, this motherfucker was knocking them down. Boom, 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 boom. They had knives and shit. Boom, boom. Give me that knife, motherfucker. Throw that shit. I ain't trying to get caught up. Boom, boom, boom. I seen him. He down like at least 6 or 7 dudes. So it's possible, I guess, if you're an Uso. And that is why the reason in California prison system, they are the one person that nobody wants to fuck with. Oh, any Islander. But I'm just taking the Usos for example. With that being said, don't fuck with Usos because they're all super Uso. I call them all super Usos. That's just what it is. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive for what I truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. I tell these stories not to glorify prison and all that, but just for entertainment, man. Hey, if you want to stop gangbanging on account of these stories, you should. If you don't, it's on you, bro. You know, I can't fight the feeling like Too Short song and stop and change it for you. I did do the Halloween story yesterday because I got busy, but today it's going down. That's my word. The gun.